Okay, so we're going to read, as I said in my note, the maft here for this Shabbat. This is Shabbat HaChodesh. And it's 20 verses. The first half or so are about what the Israelites were supposed to do so that God would know to pass over, literally pass over their houses. And I think starting with verse 14 actually has the regulations, the laws for what needs to be eaten at the Seder or done at the Seder. So let's see what we find out. Share screen. Safari, Exodus. Okay. And I have a couple of Chumashim open, but if anyone has their book open and see something interesting in the comments, feel free to tell us what you're finding out.
This is Exodus 12.
Okay. Arlene, do you want, wait, you're still here. Audrey, you're still here. I just can't see you, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Marilyn. Why don't we start with Marilyn today?
Okay.
Not all the A's all the time. Okay.
Vayomer Adonai El Moshe ve'el Aharon be'eretz Mitzrayim lamor.
Okay, and then read the second one because that was pretty short.
HaChodesh hazeh lachem rosh hadashim rishon hu lachem lechadshei hashana.
Okay, good. So this month, HaChodesh Hazeh, this month shall mark for you the beginning of the months. It shall be the first of the months of the year for you.
And is that month Nisan? Is that?
Yeah.
Or doesn't coordinate?
Right. So I'm sure you've heard at some point that there are four. The calendar has four for heads of the year for 4 new years. One is for the Tu B'Shvat, is for the trees, and Nisan, and Rosh Hashanah, and I'm not remembering the fourth. Maybe one of you remembers what the fourth one is. So this is but yeah, clearly stated the month of Aviv or Nisan, in which the deliverance was about to take place. The beginning, the first month of your freedom shall be made the first in reckoning for months, so that you reckon your time from the hour of freedom. In this way, I think the fourth must be on when we get the Torah. Maybe. Perhaps
we start the reading the Torah again, or
Simchat Torah is considered the fourth. I'm not sure. Anyhow, I'm sure we'll get to it at some point, and we'll say, "Oh, right, okay, good, okay." Audrey, you want to read 3 Dabru?
Dabru el kol adat Yisrael lemor, ba'asur lachodesh hazeh v'yichu lachem ish levate of what is limit avot shelabait.
Right, they're both seh. Yeah.
Selabite.
Okay, the lamb to a family, the lamb to a house. Speak to the community leadership of Israel and say that on the 10th of this month, each of them shall take a lamb to a family, a lamb to a household. Okay. I think it was reading in Eitz Chaim, they had something interesting about that, but I'm not sure. The completion of the first 10 days of the lunar month apparently held some sort of special significance, now lost to us. Yom Kippur, the most sacred day in the religious calendar, falls on the 10th of the 7th month. And in ancient times, this this same day ushered in the Jubilee year. Joshua chose the 10th of the first month to cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan. So the 10th of the month is important, even though we don't know exactly why. Okay. Amy, do you want to continue?
Yeah. Bayom,
No, read it again.
Baim,
Good.
Im at Habayit, Mi Hayot,
Mhm.
Mise,
Yeah.
Vilaka, who, what? Oh, Vilakach,
Yeah.
who, Ushkenu. Is that a Ushkenu?
It's an O. Dot on
Ushkeno.
top. Yeah.
Ushkeno. Hakarev El.
It's another O.
Oh, Hakarov
Yeah.
El Beto Bemichsach.
This is a
Beneath,
wow.
okay, Bemichsat.
Good.
So
Nifashot.
Good.
Ish. Lefi. Achlo.
Right.
Tachosu.
Mm-hmm.
Al Hase.
Good. Good. So this is it's very interesting to me. So if the household is too small for a lamb, let it share with a neighbor who dwells nearby. In proportion to the number of persons, you shall contribute for the lamb according to what each household will eat. So very fair and trying to make everyone feel included. I think I could be wrong, but I think it was very important. They're trying to make sure none of the lamb is left over. I think that might have been behind it. I'm not sure. Okay. Set Tamim. Okay, Marilyn.
Yeah, this commentary on this, okay, that it surprises me. It's commentary 3. It says the sages see the lamb as a symbol of idol worship and its public slaughter as a repudiation of idolatry. It's also been noted that in times of drastic change, people need specific action-oriented advice. So this gives them a sense of control over the chaotic situation, as we see with mourning customs in the wake of a death. So that's interesting that the sage saw it as a symbol of idol worship.
Yeah.
It's on page 381.
Yeah, no, I see. I read that last night, and
Strange, right?
And I read too much and then I can't find it. But somewhere this morning I was reading that it's not only the physical freedom, liberation, but also the psychological. And I think that's what this is talking about.
Oh, okay.
The control that the deliverance from Egypt is to be not only from physical, but also from spiritual slavery. Israel to be freed from all heathen influences and consecrated to the service of God. Yeah. So what they're saying in the what was this one? Oh my God, the Hertz Humash that I still have. It's falling apart, but
yeah,
and
I have one of those.
yeah.
Believe it or not, we use that in my shul.
I love that book.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it? What's the name of it again? The Hirsch?
Hertz.
I think it's Hertz.
Yes.
H-E-R-T-Z.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still have
it has Old English, so people don't like it. Is that called Old English or High English or whatever? But the commentary is still very good. I still go back to it. Okay. Yeah, so Marilyn, I think you were about to read, I think.
Yeah.
I get
So-
mixed up.
So I'm sorry, it's number 6, 5?
5, I think we're still
Yeah.
on 5.
Yeah, I think so. Say Tamim Zacher Bein Shana Adonai Lachem Min Hak. Oh boy. Hak.
So that's an
No,
example where you really
ka-
want those
hak.
dots, you see,
Y-
hakivasim.
Yeah, I know. Hak Bashem
So
Umin.
that's what I'm saying, don't be afraid to say hakivasim. If it's that
Oh.
hard to say, then use the
Oh,
dots to
okay.
your advantage, yeah.
That was a little tricky. Umin ha'izem tikahu.
Haku,
Uh,
okay.
Adonai lach. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Adonai la.
No,
Oh,
read
no.
this again.
Yahaya. Vahaya.
Vahaya.
Yeah, right. I see the V now. Lachem. Lemish meret. Ad arba'a sa aso no asar
yeah.
yom lachodesh hazeh v'shachatu. Is that right?
Yeah,
Oto kol kahal adet is
Adat,
oh
adat,
yeah.
adat,
What was that again?
adat.
Oh, right. Azat.
No, adat.
Oh, Adat. Okay.
I
Thank you.
thought you said something else. It's okay.
Okay. I most likely did. Yisrael. Okay. Bain ha'arbayim. Ha'arbayim.
Okay, so let's see. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a yearling lamb. So that just means 1 year old, ben chana. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats, which always
Oh.
gets me because I don't know my animals, so I wouldn't think that a lamb could come from sheep or goats, but that just shows my complete ignorance of agriculture and farms. Okay.
Not alone. I didn't know that they were called the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I every time I see it, I always blame it on the fact that I'm from Queens and I don't know anything about animals, but I don't know. Okay. You shall keep watch over it until the 14th day of this month, and all the assembled congregation of Israel shall slaughter it at twilight. Okay.
I always wonder where they all get the same age of a goat from if there's thousands of them.
No idea.
There's a mating time, and I mean, I can see that at a time when most of the lambs are
okay.
born,
Uh-huh.
and so they can tell the different generations, I believe.
Yeah, I have no doubt that farmers know the age of their animals. But yeah, I don't know.
Do
All
you
right.
know the age of your animal?
Amy, do you want to read?
Okay, but
seven?
where are we up?
I think we're up to 7. Okay.
V'lakhu mean mean hadam. Is that right? Hadam
Yeah. Blood.
v'nat
Blood, yeah.
nu al shetei ham zuzot.
A mizuzot.
So,
Oh, here we do you see that? Put it on the 2
Yes.
doorposts.
Oh, like a mezuzah. Okay, hamazuzot
Uh-huh.
va'al hamash kuf kof.
Kof.
No, hamash kof.
Uh-huh.
Habatim asher yoklu Oto
Uh-huh.
Bahem.
Bahem, that you're going to eat in it. So take some of the blood from, I guess, when you had the slaughter here at midnight, at twilight, and put it on the two doorposts and the lintel of the houses in which they are to eat. Wow. So we've got our mezuzahs right here. Okay. Marilyn.
Ve'ach lu, ve'ach
Lu.
lu, et habaser,
Basar.
ba, basar,
Uh-huh.
basar. Oh, thank you. Balayla hazeh, tzli eish, umatzot, al, mirorim, ochluhu.
Okay, so we've got matzot, we've got our matzah, we've got the maror. If you take away the plural, maror, we got more our bitter herbs. So let's see what else this is
What
saying.
does Halayla Hazeh mean?
Tonight, this night.
This night.
That's here it's saying this same night, but Halayla Hazeh is this night, on this night. So they shall eat the flesh. So it's all they. So that's interesting. Because this is you shall keep watch, and then it switches to they. But I think because God is talking, if I remember, to Aaron and Moses, not to everybody. So it says they. Okay. So they shall eat the flesh. The basar is meat. The flesh that same night. They shall eat it roasted over the fire with unleavened bread and with bitter herbs. So I'm trying to see what it says here about roasted. Unlike other offerings, this one called Pesach in verse 11 is roasted. Roasting may have been required here because it is the quickest means of preparation when time is short, or because it is the most effective way of extracting the blood. Deuteronomy 16:7 instructs that this Passover offering is to be boiled like a normal sacrifice. So it switched. So by the time we get to Deuteronomy, I guess the instructions to cook the recipe changes. That's very interesting. Okay, unleavened bread, the Hebrew for unleavened bread, matzot, is introduced without definition or explanation, implying that it is already well known and hence independent of the Exodus events, which of course is interesting because we've all been told that, right? At least I always thought that matzah, was invented right before the Exodus because they were in such a hurry. And
In the desert,
that they already ate matzah. The context suggests a kind of flat cake that can be prepared quickly for unexpected guests. This verse witnesses the integration of the originally separate Matzot festival with the Passover celebration.
Well, I think I read somewhere that there's also was lamb sacrificing in Goshen.
Okay.
In other words, they incorporated some pagan customs or something
Uh-huh.
at that time of year, the Paschal lamb and whatever. But in other words, some of these rituals did not come out of nowhere. They were already done.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Bitter herbs, memorim, to symbolize the bitterness of the Egyptian bondage, which we still explain it the same way today. Okay, let's go on to Marilyn. Where are we up to? Altochlu?
Yes, I believe so. Alta atochlu mimenu na uvashel mevushal bamayim ki im tali Aish, Rosho, Rosho, Rosho. Bial, oh, sorry, Al, Kiraav, the Al, Karibo. Oh, no, Kirbo.
So this is, I'm very tempted to go look up that Deuteronomy line, because this is specifically saying do not eat any of it raw or cooked in any way with water, but roasted, head, legs, and entrails over the fire. And a minute ago in the Chumash, it says Deuteronomy 16:7 instructs that this Passover offering is to be boiled.
Yeah,
Isn't
and
that
also you usually don't cook food with the entrails in. You usually took it out first.
yeah,
I mean, how can you
Okay.
eat it after that? But whatever.
compare this. So I had to look in 16:7. It says, you shall cook and eat it at the place that the Lord your God will choose, and in the morning may start. Well, why are they saying that that's cook? Compare this with 12, verse Exodus 12:9, which requires roasting. This departure from the earlier requirement probably is due to the centralization of the cult. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about, I'm not gonna get bogged down in that. But it is interesting that it changes. When you get to Deuteronomy, they're telling you to boil it, but here they're saying absolutely do not cook it in any water. So let's move on and just take it in. Okay. So are we up to
10?
Audrey, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
God bless you. The low toe chi, but there's no dot in the tough in there. Totiru,
Totiru. What
but
do you
there's no
say?
dot
Dot?
in,
Where? There's no
The
dot in
letter.
this one. There's no dot in this one.
yeah. So
There's
why
no
is it on?
dot here. There's usually no dot.
But there's several of them where there are
Here's
dots,
a
and
dot. Yeah, I don't know. Someone was asking me that in the parking lot of my synagogue. Literally just I think like Monday night or one night this week I went to Minyan. I forget which night. And someone in the parking lot who thinks I know everything, like you guys, said, "But why is there sometimes
True.
a dot and sometimes there's not in the top?" And I'm like,
I'm
"Why?"
sorry.
It's something to look into, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why like here's one that has it, here has it, here they
Yeah,
don't
I
have
just
it,
don't. Yeah.
here it doesn't have it. I'm not, as I always say, I'm just not a scholar in that way. Go ahead.
ולא תותירו ממנו עד בוקר, והנותר ממנו עד בוקר באש תשרפו.
Okay, you shall not leave any of it over until morning. If any of it is left until morning, you shall burn it. So that's what I was remembering. And when I said earlier that if you don't have enough people in your household, you have to combine with others because they really don't want to have any left over. Yeah. Okay. Audrey, you want to read another? That was
Sure. וככה תאכלו אותו מתניכם הגורים, נעליכם ברגליהם, ומגלכם בידכם. Okay. ואכלתם אותו והיפזון פסח הוא לאדוני.
Okay. Great. So this is how you shall eat it.
Your loins.
Girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall
Wow.
eat it hurriedly. It is a Passover offering.
Now
Mm.
Passover is meaning pass over the houses, right?
Mhm.
When they kill the firstborn. So they're saying this after in the Torah after the firstborns are killed or whatever.
I'm just gonna read you what it says in the Eitz Chaim, a Passover offering. The Hebrew noun Pesach has given rise to the English adjective paschal, paschal, used to designate the Passover lamb, the Passover holiday, and Easter. Like the word matzah, Pesach is assumed in this narrative to be an immediately understandable term. So it too must have a history that predates the Exodus.
Ah,
Etymology of the word is uncertain, although it may be related to the Akkadian root meaning to appease. Three traditions about the meaning of the stem Pesach have survived: to have compassion, to protect, and to skip over. Strictly speaking, as noted in the comments to verses 14 to 20, only the 14th day of the month can be called Pesach, but in the course of time, this term was extended to cover the entire week of the festival. Does that help?
What I want to know is, what did they do? They killed the firstborn and then they celebrated by giving a sacrifice and eating the lamb. I mean,
I don't know.
do I have that out of order?
Maybe they were just celebrating that they survived, that God allowed the firstborn to live of the Israelites.
It could be, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Let's see. So in the Hertz, it says the Lord's Passover. Better a Passover unto the Lord. That is a paschal sacrifice in honor of the Lord. The word Pesach, Passover, here means the paschal lamb and is derived from the verb pasach, to pass over, to protect and deliver. I don't know if that added anything, but okay. So that's Pesach. What else do we have here?
Just 1 minute, but just can't you see them that they strike down the firstborn and then the Jews sit there and celebrate by eating lamb?
Yeah.
But they're celebrating, yeah.
Although,
I
wait a minute,
think they're
because
celebrating the
here,
fact that
the next verse is saying, for that night, I will go through the land and strike
Yeah.
down.
yeah,
So,
first they have to put the blood on the door.
Mhm.
right, and
I don't know why God can't figure out who's Jewish or not, but that's another story.
well,
Yeah,
you know what's interesting? Last year, I remember hearing an explanation of this, putting the blood on the lintel. Is that what it's called? The lintel
Yeah.
of the house.
Lynch.
And she was saying that the lintel of the house is actually inside. And so it wasn't necessarily a sign for God, but for the people inside the house.
Huh.
Not that God can't see inside the house and outside the house, but she was making the case that it really wasn't for God, but it was for the people who did it. I don't know. So it's still not clear to me if they're eating this before or after the plague.
I found out what was wrong with my computer.
Oh my God. I wish I knew how to get the pictures back up, because I would bring, oh, wait, maybe here. Let's see. Are you there?
Yeah.
There
You
you
should see my
oh,
picture.
yeah, there you are.
Right here.
All right. Well, there are miracles. You see that? Who said there's no more miracles after the, okay. Nice to see you. Wonderful to see
Thank you. And it was easy.
you.
I had hit the camera as off on my pad, and it never noticed it. It was
Okay.
really simple.
Yeah. Well, we're
Dumb.
witnesses that you fixed it yourself without Larry, and okay. Amy, do you want to read
Yes.
12? I
The
think.
Arvarti, Be'eretz Mitzrayim, Balayla Hazeh, Vehi
K.
K T Ho Ko Behor Be'eretz Mitzrayim Meyadam Ba'ed
Ad.
Ba'ad Behema Uvkol Elohei Mitzrayim. Oh, Se
Good.
Shifatim Ani Adonai.
Okay. So what is happening here? For that night, Belila Hazeh, I will go through the land of Egypt. I will go through Eretz Mitzrayim and strike down Hikati, every call Bechor, firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, Hema, Uvachol, and I will mete out punishments to all the gods of Egypt, Elohei, are the gods of Mitzrayim. I will mete out Shifatayim, Ani Adonai, I am the Lord, I am God. Okay.
It's intriguing that they say the gods of Egypt, because does he recognizes other gods, or does the gods, are the Pharaoh's gods? I don't know.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
yeah, I think they considered themselves. So let's see, in smiting the firstborn of all living beings, man and beast, God smote objects of Egyptian worship. Not a single deity of Egypt was unrepresented by some beast.
Oh,
Okay. Let's see any more and this one says, to all the gods of Egypt, God's power to take Israel out of Egypt manifests his own exclusivity, mocks the professed divinity of Pharaoh, and exposes the deities of Egypt as non-gods. So that's interesting too. And it's not just the firstborns of these gods, right? I don't think. I think it's all the gods. In this case, it's not just the firstborns, but it's all the gods, right? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Marilyn.
Bahaya Hadam Lachem Leot Al Habatim Asher Atem Sham V'ra'iti Et Hadam Ufasachti Alechem the Vil, is that Vil?
Vilo.
Vilu.
Low. No, I mean Vilo. No.
Thank you. Below,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Vachem, Negev, Lamash, Heat, Behakoti, Be'eretz, Mitzrayim.
Okay, so let's see. And the blood on the houses, Al Habatim, where you are staying, shall be a sign for you. So be a sign for you. Do you see what I was saying before? Not a sign for God, but a sign for you. But then it says, when I see the blood, I will pass over you. So it's a sign for maybe for both God and people.
Maybe God thought the people needed some reassurance that they wouldn't be affected.
Yeah.
In other words, they might panic if they thought, how does God know who's a Jewish firstborn and who was a non-Jewish one?
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting. What can what can I say? For you, this is saying for you means in your interest. So it shall be a sign for you, maybe to protect you, because when I see the blood, I will pass over you. I don't know what these asterisks keep. Are there explanations that I'm not seeing somewhere? I don't know. I don't want to lose everything, but be interesting to know what the asterisks are. So that no plague will destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. Okay, plague is negeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Audrey.
והיה היום הזה, לכם זיכרון והגותם אותו. חג לאדוני לדורותיכם, לדורותיכם. חוקת עולם תחגוהו.
Okay, so verse 14 starts the actual festival of Matzot. The previous rites deal with a specific time and situation, the Passover of Egypt. The Exodus now becomes an experience stamped for all time on Israel's memory and imagination, shaping forever its religious consciousness and traditions. Verse 14 that we just read establishes an annual festival of remembrance. The subsequent verses explain how it is to be observed. So let's see what we're supposed to do and if we actually do it. Amy.
Shivot. Is that right?
Shivat.
Shivat. Yamim. Matzot. Tochelu. Ach. Bayam.
Bayom.
Bayom. Harishon.
Yom Rishon, the first day, Bayom Harishon.
Tash. Bithu. Shor.
Sit or. This is a perfect example of how you can't say the word unless you pronounce this shva, because the aleph has its own vowel, so it has to be sit or.
Oh, so when the aleph has a vowel, you say is that a rule?
Well, it's anytime another it's hard to make rules, but this is a clear example to me where there's no other way to say it but sit or. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sit or.
Yeah.
Mi bat techem. Ki. Kol. Ochel. Hametz. Vanich.
Yeah, this is another example where you have to say you have to pronounce the second shva, Vanich Rita. I should copy this sentence. It has two great examples of when to pronounce the shva. Go ahead.
Hanefesh. Hahi.
It's just hahi.
Mi Israel. Miyom Haroshon Ad Yom
Hashvi'i, the seventh day. Ad Yom Hashvi'i, till the seventh day. So 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Okay, so does everyone eat matzah for 7 days?
More or less.
Yes.
And on the very first day, You shall remove leaven from your houses. So do we do that?
Mhm.
Or in my basement.
Okay,
And
close
then
enough.
sell it at synagogue, yeah.
Close enough. And for whoever eats leavened bread, from the first to the seventh day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. Wow.
Question for you. The
Yeah.
word hahi. It's got a lot of letters in there, the hey, the vav, the
Yeah,
aleph,
I
for he.
know.
I mean, it's just,
I know. I wish I could tell you the reasons and all, but
What does nefesh mean?
nefesh
soul.
is soul. That
What?
nefesh hahi, his soul. It's saying that person's soul will be cut off from.
I'm asking because they, they have the word nefesh in the Aliyah program. It's something with nefesh, the program.
Nefesh ben, isn't it nefesh ben nefesh or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. So that means soul?
Soul to soul.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can't tell you for sure. I'm sure it means a lot of things, but
Okay.
I mean, here it's just calling it a person, right? So,
Oh,
yeah.
Do you ever know, it's nothing to do with this, but when an airplane goes down and people die and they say 50 souls were lost
Oh, yeah,
in the accident.
right. You're right. I'm just looking if neither of my books here are commenting on nefesh. But you're right. A lot people will refer. Oh, here it says soul is a
sorry.
person. Yeah, that's all it's telling us is a soul. Is a
I'm
person.
sorry, guys.
Yeah, in fact, in the Hertz Humash, it translated it as soul. That soul shall be cut off from Israel. So nefesh and person and soul, they're interchangeable. Yeah, okay. All right. Marilyn, let's see. Uvayom Harishon.
I forget where we're up to, I'm
Year
sorry.
16, Uvayom Harishon.
Uvayom Harishon Migra Kodesh Uvayom Hashvi'i Migra Kodesh. Is that, that's out of Noi, right? Or you say?
Oh, this one's out of Noi, yeah.
Okay. I never
No,
know.
this is Yehiyah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to look for the Vav. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. It's
that,
Yehiyah, yeah.
Adonai
No,
Lachem.
Yehiyah.
Oh, Yehiyah. Yehiyah. Lachem. Kol Malacha. Lo. Esha. Wait. Is that?
Yay,
Yay. Right. Yeshe.
Yay, Aseh.
Oh, I couldn't see. It looked like an O, but that's my, okay. Bahem, Ach, Asher, Yayachel, Lechal, Nefesh, Hu Levado, Yayaseh, Lachem.
Okay.
Lachem.
Let's see. Good. So on the first day, you shall celebrate a sacred occasion, Mikra Kodesh, and a sacred Mikra Kodesh, a sacred occasion on the seventh day, Vayom Hashvi'i. No work at all shall be done on them. Okay, so milacha is work. Lo ye'aseh ach asher ye'achal. So only what every person is to eat, that alone may be prepared for you. Oh, I think it's making the distinction between like on Shabbat, I don't think you're even allowed to cook, but on the festivals like Pesach and Sukkot and Shavuot, I think that I think, and I'm not a rabbi, but I think the distinction is you can prepare food that you need. Whereas on Shabbat, you're supposed to make it ahead of time. Does that sound familiar to
Yeah,
anybody else?
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And part of that is because Shabbat, sometimes Shabbat comes, is Friday night, and then the holidays are Saturday and Sunday.
Mhm.
So you have to have the ability to cook beforehand for those holidays that come after.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Okay. Let's see. I'm completely out of sync on I think it might be Audrey's turn, but just,
I
yeah,
think so.
if it's not, then just tell me. Okay, go ahead.
Ushimartem et hamatzot ki etzem hayom hazeh. Hotzeti et seviotechem me eretz Mitzrayim, ushmartem et hayom hazeh ledoratechem hukat olam.
Okay, so you shall observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread, for on this very day, Hayom Hazeh, I brought your ranks out of the land of Egypt. Tzivotechem. Okay. And this
Barbara,
term,
Barbara-
the word for army,
Armies,
even
yeah.
today it's Seva. The Israeli army, I think it's Seva. So this is your ranks, you know, it's like the ranks of your army. You shall observe this day throughout the ages, L'Dorotechem, as an institution for all time.
The roads, the way, the Dorotechem.
Mm-hmm. No, that's Derech. Dorotechem is
Yeah.
generation. Yeah, you're thinking of Derech.
Oh, door, yeah, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
Ledor Vador, from generation
Yeah,
to generation.
sure, the Doro.
Uh-huh. Yep. Throughout the ages as an institution for all time. Chukat. Is that the institution?
From law, Hukot.
Chukat is a law, right? So, but this is saying institution. I'm just curious what another book might call it.
What verse is this?
17.
Can you move this, this, oh, never mind, that was my fault, thank you.
So
Thank you.
in the Hertz, it's saying by an ordinance forever, which Hukat, ordinance, makes more sense to me than institution, but that's okay. There's many ways to translate things. So, but Hukat makes ordinance is more, you know, the way I know the word. Okay.
I'm sorry, ordinance is, no, olam is the world, right?
Olam is for all time.
Oh,
But
Okay.
it's also, you're right, it is like Olam
Olam
Tikva
haba.
is, yeah, it also means world, but it also means for all time.
okay.
You're right, you're absolutely right. It's
I don't know. I don't know enough Hebrew.
no, you're absolutely right. It means both. Yep. Yep. Olam Tikva means a world of hope. So yeah. They really it's a language without a lot of words, and so each word means many things. It makes it easier in some ways, but it makes it harder in many ways. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Amy, go ahead. Don't be fooled by this pazer here. It's just
Body shown.
good.
Ba'ar ba'a. Asar. Yom. La chedesh.
Chodesh.
La chodesh. Oh, I didn't see that. Ba'erev. Tochlu. Matzot. Ad. Yam. Ha'ehad.
Uh-huh.
Chad. va'esrim lach.
What happened? Wait a minute. I did something weird. Come back. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, lach chadesh
Ho.
chodesh ba'aret.
All right. You want to read 19?
Shivot.
Shivat.
Shivat, the same mistake every time. Okay. Yamim. Sor.
This, you know what? This is that same word. Sit or.
Oh, Seor. Lo. Yimatzet.
Yimatsei. It's an olive.
Oh, Imatsei. Bevartechem. Ki kol achel. Mach. Metzet. Benich. Rutsa. Nefesh. He Me'adat Yisrael Bager Uv Ve'etzra. No?
Be'ezrach.
Ve'etzrach Haaretz.
Good. Cut off from the community of Israel. So let's see. So a minute ago okay. So what I'm trying to find what all these rules were. Let's see. So 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and you shall remove it, and okay, and then you shall celebrate the special occasions on the 1st and 7th day, and you shall observe it because I took you out of Egypt in the 1st month. From the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month. So now we're getting the exact days for 7, and that's 14 plus 7 is 21. Okay. And then no leaven shall be found in your houses for 7 days. For whoever eats what is leavened, that person, whether a stranger or a citizen of the country, shall be cut off from the community of Israel.
Ew.
So it seems to be saying that you shouldn't have leaven in your house because you're not supposed to eat it, which is right. So which is a little bit different from just not having it in your house if you're disciplined enough not to eat it. You know what I mean? It's
That's why people burn it, I guess.
right. It's
Mhm.
interesting because for whoever eats what it so and
Or
then
you could sell it too. You could sell it
right,
by means of a
Yeah.
rabbi.
right. Marilyn, you want to read the last one?
Yes. Chol mach metzet lo tochelu bechol mosh vitechem botechem.
Mosh
Bo-
Techem.
I forget the dots at the top always. Botechem. Tochlu matzot.
Okay, so
I'm
you shall
wondering if that word Moshevtechem is settlement.
right,
that
Moshav. You know, Moshav.
sounds like Moshav and
Yeah, absolutely. It's a settlement. Yeah, Moshav. So you shall eat nothing leavened. In all your settlements, you shall eat unleavened bread. And then it goes on to then we have Moses telling people what to do. But the maftir itself ends here, because then the rest I think is just Moses telling the people, repeating what God just told him.
Can I interject one thing? It's a little
Yeah.
bit, it's regarding 12.
Yeah.
It says here in the Eish Chaim, which I never knew, if the prohibited foods during Pesach are not sold or disposed of before the holiday, you may not eat after, they may not be used after Pesach. In other words,
Oh,
if there's any chametz that you haven't sold or,
uh-huh.
or obliterated, you can't even eat it after Pesach.
Wow.
I never knew that you couldn't
Yeah,
use it.
yeah. Interesting.
Can I tell you a funny story that it reminds me every year when I have to clean my house for Pesach, which I don't do as well as I used to do 10, 20, 30 years ago. I had a friend who, when she wanted to get up all the morsels of the crumbs and everything like that every year she would paint her kitchen. And
Oh,
because she
oh.
didn't, and finally the paint got so thick that somebody, oh, look,
Yeah, hi.
that somebody said to her, no, you don't have to do that in order to, but that was taking it too far.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but yeah, I think each person has their standard of what's
Acceptable.
yeah, and
Do you people do as much as you used to do
No.
preparing for? Okay, good.
no. I'm just
do you-
I want to read what the fourth Jewish New Year was. Let's see. In Mishnah, Rosh Hashanah, the 4 Jewish New Years are Tishrei, Shivat, Nisan, and Elul. So let's see.
Tishrei is Rosh Hashanah, but
Rosh
that's the
Hashanah
7th
is,
month.
yeah, I'm trying to get to the beginning of this article. What are the 4 Jewish New Years? The first is Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. The second is Tu B'Shvat, the New Year for the trees. The third is Lag BaOmer. I think you said that, Audrey, right? Did you say Lag BaOmer?
I don't remember.
I think you might, I thought somebody said Lag BaOmer, the
Yes, it is.
33rd
The
day
new-
of the Omer counting.
It
Lag
is.
BaOmer falls on the 18th day of the Jewish month of Iyar. Lag BaOmer is a festive day when Jews celebrate the life of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, a 2nd century sage and mystic. That's really, so when you think about it, the third New Year is on the 18th month. Oh, you know what I mean? It's so counterintuitive. And then the fourth and final New Year is Pesach, which is the 15th day of Nisan.
How can you have 4 New Years in a year? I mean, and the first one, Rosh Hashanah, comes on the 7th month. I just never understood that.
I don't know. Each year of Judaism has its own special significance. A Jewish holiday called Rosh Hashanah marks the start of a new year. The month of Nisan is represented by the first day of the month of Tu B'Shvat. Yeah, that's the same thing as what I just read a minute ago. Anyway, maybe you can win some kind of a quiz someday with that obscure knowledge.
Lag BaOmer was the day that I could be married on.
Yes.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a new year, because you got married.
Why not?
So you know what? We didn't talk about, is there any part of the Haggadah that you'd like to go over? We have 2 weeks before, two more classes before the first Seder. So I didn't know if there's parts of the Haggadah that you'd like to do.
I would love to know which parts we have an abbreviated service with the kids and which parts of the Haggadah are more important to read and then to go over those.
All right, I'll try to look it up, or if you have time, you could look. So what I have found is hard about this is everyone has a different Haggadah that you're looking at. And I've never been able to find one in Hebrew with enough Hebrew, to share screen, to put on the computer. Most of the ones that I find online do not have a lot of Hebrew in them. So I've just found it hard. But I'll do my best to try to find something and
Just off the top of my head, I would say that the kids would not be interested in these commentaries where Rabbi this one said this and Rabbi that one said that. it's so many days and so many this, I forgot what it is. They're having,
Yeah.
that part, it's just Talmud, it's not the Haggadah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Audrey is asking if there's requirements,
More
Oh.
important parts to be read than others to be highlighted.
Isn't that, there's a list, that song, and those are the ones, you have to hit each one.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Hang
I
out in
know
my
the
net.
order of the Seder.
Yeah, the order of the Seder, and if you hit each one, maybe you'll be, but look, you're talking to, I'm probably the most non-observant of all of you, so, yeah.
I don't know what that is, the order.
It's in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of Haggadahs have on the first page. It'll show you. Do they go to preschool, or they probably know the song? There's a song that goes to it, but I don't know the song.
Well, I can look it up on the internet.
I thought I had a couple of Haggadahs up here.
I know the melody, but I forgot the words. I'd have to look in the Haggadah.
How does the melody go?
Da 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 da. It's not something I learned as a kid. It's something I learned later.
Yeah.
No, Marilyn's looking it up.
Yeah, this is a great,
Here it is.
this is
So
a great.
this is just
Haggadah
like,
for
Yeah.
families.
Night, a
Does
different
everyone
night.
have one of these? Maybe could we
Oh,
use this?
Yeah, I do have that downstairs. Yeah, all my
Um,
But I
patients.
have the list. I have the
Searching
list.
for leaven, the mixing of, here it is, order of the Seder. So
Oh.
recite the Kiddush, and then Karpas, eat a green, then Orchatz, wash the hands. Karpas, eat a green vegetable. Yachatz, break the middle matzah and hide half of it for the afikomen. Magid is recite the story. Ratzcha, wash the hands for a meal.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought a lot of them have this. It's hard to
Yeah.
have this
Yeah.
way that it. Oh,
You might
yeah, it's
Yeah,
always the same.
you might
Yeah.
find it if
This
you
is really
Google
good.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, so I don't know. I'll go through it, and you do the same. I mean, let me know which parts you'd like to read. Next week.
So we can email you that information?
Yeah.
Oh. Mhm.
And then we'll try to find one that I can put on the screen, or else everyone will just have to find it in their book,
Mhm.
I mean, we can do something we could do Dayenu, the verses
Sure.
of Dayenu, not just the chorus. A few of us at my Seder will try to, read really fast until we get confused. And I have one
And
man
then-
in particular that I compete with all the time. So the more I practice it, the more chance I have of out singing him. But
I found something that talks about why there's all these being the beginning of the year, the first of the year. It says, it seems somewhat paradoxical that Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, occurs in the fall, while the first month of the Hebrew year is counted from Pesach, the spring holiday. The Jewish calendar reflects a double commitment, a celebration of the creation of the world, traditionally associated with the fall, the beginning of the rainy season in the Middle East. And a commemoration of national liberation with the springtime exodus from Egypt. The origins of life, freedom, the universal and national orient our values and our measurements of time. Freedom is a second birth, a watershed from which life begins. This is I have to point this out to you. This is such a wonderful Haggadah for families. It is so much commentary inside, so much explanations of things that we frequently ask about, like why are there 4 New Years, if you will. It's really terrific. It's called A Different Night, the Family Participation Haggadah, A Different Night, with storyteller supplement. So it's really nice. It's a good one.
Oh, thank you.
One year, a few years in the past, we would have a second Seder at the synagogue. And that's how this was introduced to me, that from that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's engaging.
Yeah. There's so many.
There's so many,
Many
right? There's so many.
All right,
And
well,
so I
thank you.
find that some people just want to use the
The
old
Maxwell House one.
Maxwell
Does anyone
House,
have the
like-
Maxwell House one?
The Maxwell House, yes.
Yeah, my brother, who's like a 3-day-a-year Jew practically, well, then put in Pesach, so 4-day, he makes the Seder. He insists on using Maxwell House because it's traditional. I don't know. It's the worst Haggadah ever.
Yeah.
And
And
every,
I like the ones with the beautiful pictures. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I actually like when everyone at the table has a different one. And just like we do when we're reading and we say, oh, look at this, 8 times is this and Hertz says that, and they say that. I like when people jump in and say what their Haggadah, but some people don't like that at all. I mean, it's like,
because
they're
it
not looking at
takes
it.
forever to get to dinner then.
Well,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, awesome.
everybody likes something else. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I have
All
an
right.
Orthodox family, and their Seders last about 5 or 6 hours, I swear. Okay, you don't eat until about 11 o'clock, and it goes on until about 2 a.m.
Yeah,
That's,
Just
Wow.
and
don't
that's
talk
not
about
us.
stretching it out.
yeah, that's too much.
And-
for me.
And what I hate is the hours and hours that you spend cooking and cleaning to get
And it's
everything
eaten in
ready.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's it's daunting.
Yeah.
It really is. So now we use paper plates for everything except for the first 2 nights.
Very nice.
Otherwise I
Yeah.
cry.
Thank you very much. Toda rabah.
Yeah, thank you all. And yeah,
Bye.
and as I said, if you find something that you know you want to do, otherwise I'll be happy to pick what I want to do. So- All
Thank
right,
you.
all
Thank
right.
Sounds
Thank you
good.
very much.
Thanks.
Have-
Have a
Have a
good
good week.
everybody.
And so nice
and-
to see you again. It's been like 3 weeks.
With
Okay.
one little click on my keyboard, which I finally saw. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, right?
Hello.